Good evening, everyone. Manchester United got back-to-back wins, and that is great. But now comes the part that actually matters, because every time this team puts in a big performance, the same question comes straight back. Is this progress or just another moment? Fulham at Old Trafford on Sunday is not just about whether or not we can stay above them in the league or Fulham's league performance. None of that matters. Fulham at Old Trafford is about the table. It's not about the confidence. It's about standards. This is the game where you show whether you've learned anything at all under Carrick. No hype, no excuses. This is United Lens, and it's time to prove it. And we're live. Good evening, people. Welcome back to another episode of United Lens, where tonight we're going to be looking at the preview for the Fulham game, suspected started lineups. We've got a few injury concerns on both sides. We've got transfers for Fulham. We've got who's going to come in for Dorgu. Did we get lucky that Cunha escaped not being banned for his goal celebration? We'll go through all of it tonight. Get in the comments, like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the bell. You know all the normal drills. And let me just crack straight on with the show while you guys do that. So straight off, I'm going to bring up the suspected starting lineup for Fulham on Sunday. Now, Fulham have been rotating players. We're all aware that they've signed Oscar Bob. Will he come in and replace Wilson? I don't know. I can't really see. Well, that's a little bit too much. Obviously, we know Leno will be in goal. Very good goalkeeper on his day. Definitely suspect to making one or two mistakes. So Oscar Bob, could be in replace of Wilson. Smith Rowe could be out injured. I'm not sure if Iwobi's going to start. Who else have we got? You got Sander Berge will definitely be in the holding midfielder. At the back, Robinson still struggling a bit with the knee injuries, so I'm not sure about him. Anderson, absolutely superb centre back. Whoever we put up against him will make them have a hard day, and you will know you've been in a fight against him. About 2 seasons ago, when he was coming up, he was one of the players I would have taken in a heartbeat to come in to the United back line. While Harry Maguire was sort of just on his comeback road to the Harry that we have back now. I don't know about other people, but Harry Maguire has definitely done enough for us now. I'd say done enough. Maybe not good enough at all times, but it's good enough for me. So Joachim Anderson, superb. Their back line for them, very good, very well organised. If they don't have Robinson, I think we'll be able to get at them on that side up with Ahmad and then Bomo hitting those channels. Left-hand side is obviously going to be an issue. But Jimenez up front, I think this Fulham team this season could have done some real damage if they kept a certain other striker that went off to Saudi. But Jimenez is sort of like 1 in 3, I think. 1 in 4 almost kind of striker. You'll know he'll get you sort of 10, maybe 15 goals is a great season for him. But any more than that, I would never expect him to get any more. Kevin, he's done bits for him. He's done bits so far, but he's not been superb. If anyone thinks that the lineup will be any different, obviously just jump in and have your say. Evening, Bilal. Thank you for joining. Literally just starting with a suspected starting lineup for Fulham. Um, I'm 50-50 whether they start Bob. He's obviously played a couple of games for Man City, but when it comes to the league, Wilson's sort of taken his opportunities. It'll be quite harsh if he's dropped. The only one I can see happening, Wilson moves across more to the central role, or maybe Iwobi and Smith Rowe misses out. So yeah, that will be to be seen, shall we say, on the day. See what the manager goes with. But like I said, he's been rotating his midfielders in multiple positions constantly all season. And that's got him up into this 7th position. But right now, it's very hard to call what Fulham will do. um, well, I don't think they all have boring names. They just choose one name that can be easily said around the world. Like, they still tend to hold about 7 or 8 names. It's like the almighty R9. We just know him as Ronaldo, and didn't he have 11 names or something like that in total? But yeah, you are right. It is weird to see these just standard names of the Brazilian players these days. But yes, so Fulham will be very tight, very compact, and will look to play how we played against Arsenal and City. And that's what makes this game so important. And this is what we really need to see. For me, is the biggest test for Michael Carrick. Because if you think about how they set up and how we set up, it's identical. We've been playing on the counter, get back tight, 2 banks of 4, 4-4-2, even 5-4-1 at the end of the last game. And Fulham do the same. So it's about who can transition the quickest almost to stop them from getting back. So if you win the ball high up while they're on the attack, then maybe you've got a chance to get in behind. But let's see how we penetrate their defence. Fulham aren't no mugs. They wouldn't be in 7th position. They're one of our... I always look at them as a bogey side because on average, we do struggle. But this game, if they're not going to attack us, if you look back at Man City and you look at the Arsenal games, they're front foot attacking games, right? They're coming at you. You know you can get in behind. Fulham, when we played them at the start of the season, the Iwobi interview still sits in my head about how he knew that they would push forward, or his words, meaning United, would push forward, and that would leave a big gap between the midfield and the defence, and he would just drop into there, and that's how they would get onto the ball. And that's what the manager said. So that idea is going to be out the window for them. So they're going to have to approach the game differently. And I feel that we will approach the game differently as well. I think Bob will play some part. I think he'll come off the bench. Maybe second half, 60 minutes substitution sort of thing. Don't forget, we are at Old Trafford, so it's not like he's making a home debut or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they make that work. But yeah, I don't know anything else really about the Fulham team that stands out to me right now. The main fear for me is that because, come back at me in the comments afterwards if you disagree, or in the chat live now. It felt like Mainu Casemiro had been doing almost a man marking job in a midfield three. So the two attacking players, be it the 10 and an 8, they were going man for man on them, and Bruno would just drop in on the sitting player. So when Fulham play the same system, are we going to still go man for man on Iwobi in how I've got it set up on Iwobi and Burge? Because then that leaves Smith Rowe, Wilson, Kevin, and Jimenez 4-3-4 at the back. So when you're playing against this formation, you sort of almost need that extra midfielder. So will Bruno have to drop in? I don't trust him to be disciplined enough to do that. So I do feel like we might actually play more of a 4-4-2 and run the risk of being overrunning the midfield, but with a benefit on the attack. But we've got the extra man up there straight away. So if I just go and bring up our starting 11, let's see what Bilal's saying. Do I think Emil Smith Rowe will start? It's a hard one because he's a very good player, and I do think he deserves to start, but he's been injury prone all season, hasn't he? So I don't think he's started many games back to back for Fulham. So we're generally going to have to wait and see. Let me just get this up on screen. So I think the only change, and we'll see what others are saying, is that obviously Lamens will stay in goal. Made that a little bit too big, shrink it down a bit. Pain in the arse when you have to use touchscreen to do all the shrinking. The right says Fred's song. I'm hoping the first right said Fred's song, because it's a jumper and not a shirt. So yeah, United. Well, I'll jump straight in there. I'm going Cunha in for Dorgu. I was worried first off that we wouldn't have Cunha because of his celebration. For those that are unaware, Wayne Rooney, I think, what was it, 2012? Was it later than that? Wayne Rooney's celebration into the camera cost him a 2-game ban for swearing directly into the camera. I know Cunha came out and said, no, that's not what I said. I believe the words were, there's only one big team. Definitely a swear word in the front from where I was standing, what I was watching, and what I've heard back many a time. But, if he's got away with it, he's got away with it. Great. About time United started getting some luck in that respect. I'm going to bring this up, actually. Bilal, I'll bring that up in 2 seconds. So, yeah, I think Cunha comes in as a perfect replacement on the left for Dorgu. But my only fear, if he does do that, is that's Bruno Fernandes and Cunha that don't drop. So we could see a rotation with Cunha and Mbeumo potentially in this game, where Mbeumo plays the more winger role on the left and has some kind of rotation between, I don't want to sound like a certain clip, but Cunha, Bruno, Mbeumo, Cunha, Mbeumo, Fernandes. Do you see what I mean? They just rotate around them, and Ahmad just stays doing his job on the right. Because we all know Bruno Fernandes likes to push out to a wing. And Mbeumo, as far as I'm aware, has never played on the left wing. He's always played right. Same as Ahmad. So they're not natural left wingers. And Cunha is more of an 8/10 than he is a wide player. But if he needs to get in here and take opportunities, in the last few videos, and it was on, the overlap. You would have seen it on my TikTok. I put it out for Roy Keane was talking about Kobe Mainoo and the fact the opportunity came up and he's taken it with both hands. He's not been a world beater in the Man City and Fulham games. This game's going to be huge for Kobe Mainoo and see how he performs. But Cunha needs to do that now as well. He's not going to be happy standing around on the touchline, sitting on the bench, watching Mbeumo scoring goals. Cunha's come on. He's taken his opportunities in the cameos he's had. So if he starts, he's going to have to come in strong. Right, let's have a look. What's this? The FA chairman was an ex-City chairman when they banned Rooney for the cup semi. Yeah, well, that's it. Who we got here? Evening, Danny. Big up to yourself. Right, so yeah, backline. Bilal, you said it. You would bench Dallo. I would if we hadn't won 2 on the bounce. Doesn't matter that they were the big games. Doesn't matter that it could have been luck or anything. The one thing you don't do as a manager, or should never do, without real, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't win without gambling. Okay, every time you want to tweak the system, tweak the team, whatever you want to call it, it's a gamble. So it's only not a gamble if you've lost, but if you've won, you've got every chance. But right now, Dallo is playing the right back position as it needs to be played. But I've noticed not many people are attacking down our at our right back. Everyone's going at Shaw on the left. Arsenal definitely did, and well, City just didn't do anything. They barely got the ball wide. Dorgu took on Dallo, and we were lucky to keep him on the pitch. But then after that, once he was on a yellow card, didn't really drive at him at all. You don't care his crap. I would have Mazraoui in a heartbeat to replace Dallo. Yeah, see, you're both saying the same thing, and I get it. But you've got to understand from a manager's point of view, he wants to make as fewer changes as possible, especially when they're winning. So Dallo's just been lucky, to be honest, that Mazraoui's made the final. If Mazraoui went out in the semis, Dallo wouldn't have even started, I don't think, under Carrick. So right now he's riding his luck. We know he's going to make a mistake. Hopefully it doesn't lead to a goal. But when it has come up against the easiest defending opportunity he's had, clearing the balls away at the back post, he can mark the back post quite well as a right back. As a right wing back, he's terrible. Yeah, exactly. There you go, Bilal. You said it. Although I don't think so. That Dallo-ness is eventually let us down. Yeah, Dallo will do Dallo things, and he's just as capable of mishitting a pass and playing someone through, which we saw at the start of the season when he miscontrolled the ball and put Mbeumo through on goal, to doing everything right and scoring an own goal. That's just Dallo. Whereas Mazraoui, I feel, would make us even more solid at the back. I think Mazraoui, Maguire, Shaw, and then in my eyes, Martinez fits as the ball playing centre back alongside Maguire. I definitely think the coaching staff would like a ball playing centre back, but I don't want to see us passing out from the back currently. Yeah, so that's that. But Mainu Casemiro is, I don't think it's getting enough credit. Casemiro, there's so many haters out there on Casemiro, but at the end of the day, this guy, all they do is go on about, he's won 5 Champions League, different competition. I look at what he done, him, Kroos, and Modric. I'm not saying Mainu's a Toni Kroos, but Fernandes is definitely a Modric. And that this midfield's got that little bit of lightness about it, a little bit of swagger, a little bit of, it's just simple. Mainu's not dribbling past people. He's just opening his body out and disappearing. I think it's a solid 3. And if you think about it, Ugarte hasn't seen a blade of grass apart from doing his running after the game. For that reason, Casemiro was still sprinting back at the end. On the 90th minute, he's sprinting back box to box. But 2 months ago, we were saying he can only last 60 minutes. This guy is going to play with his heart and soul till, I don't know, maybe he feels that when he leaves United, he doesn't go to another team. Maybe he's not 100% sure about getting that contract somewhere else because of all the bad media and bad things that have been said about him as a player. So Mainu, Casemiro, most United fans always knew would work. We don't know why Amorim chose to play Fernandes there, not Mainu, and put Fernandes higher up. My belief is we signed 3 players up front. The 3 players needed to play. Just simple football, rules and that area. So yeah, Mainu and Casemiro, their link-up play and the way they're just keeping the ball ticking between them, and Mainu managing to get further and further forward and linking up in that 10 position, which is what he did as a youth player. Cass is a good in a free. I love that comment. So yeah, but anyone feel that Mbeumo shouldn't be playing up front? I'm not expecting anyone to turn around, hold their hand up and go, yeah, me. I don't think Mbeumo should start. Get Sesko on the pitch. I think the rotation with Mbeumo and Ahmad was working quite well. Ahmad seemed to be a lot more disciplined. I like the way he's come back from the AFCON. I almost say, like, it always feels like you're insulting him when you say it feels like he's come back and he's a little bit more grown up. But I don't think it's too harsh to say that. He just seems to be making less amateur mistakes to Bilal and Mbeumo to start. Yeah, exactly. So I can't see Sesko getting his chance. But what you can say now without Dorgu is if Cunha and Mbeumo start on the pitch, Sesko's going to have more chance of coming on around the 60-minute mark if we need to change things up. And hopefully Bruno Fernandes don't kick the ball in his face from point blank this time. So, whatever happens with Sesko, he's got more opportunity now because of an injury. And it's about taking that opportunity every single time. You might get 5 minutes. You might get, 48 minutes. You come on just before half time because of an injury. This shit does happen. And we've always had one person to look at in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to know how a sub should come on in this club. So yeah, those days are gone. But it's true. You should be on the sideline when they're doing their stretching. They're having a laugh and a joke. It's about mindset for me, and I use those words a lot. But if we can get on and be like have a little sprint down touchline. Why sprint down touchline? Because we're sprinting through on goal. Almost try and immerse yourself in the goal. Almost like I know it sounds stupid, like a VR experience. Yeah, you're doing the movements they're doing on there, as well as stretching out. So for me, when I coach, it's something I try and say, look where you're coming on, what are they up against? So you'll stay within the game. And I think it's one of those things Sesko needs to learn. So, yeah, out of that, are we in agreement Cunha comes in? Or does anyone want to state a case for Mason Mount? Come back at me in the comments afterwards if you think Mason Mount maybe comes in instead of Cunha. Carrick spoke quite highly of him at the end of his first half of his press conference. But I just think Cunha gives us a little more balance there. What's this? Bruno does a lot of silly things. Bruno does do a lot of silly things, and apparently they're called assists a lot of the time. Where I call them is just trying something stupid and it actually came off. What's that? And are we playing with no goalkeepers? No, Lamens is there. But let's be fair. If has anyone seen Bayern Deer? Has anyone seen Tom Heaton? Well, more importantly, have you seen Onana? Because seriously, I did not think he could get any worse. But the Galatasaray highlights I saw the other day, this is social media and you can say clickbait things, but is Onana being paid to let goals in Turkey? Because seriously, the stuff he's doing is unbelievable. Yeah, good for Cunha. So yeah, I haven't really focused on Lamens at all. He has been, for me, for a 23-year-old, superb. He's doing everything right. the way he's coming and claiming the ball, the way that he makes a mistake and it's gone. The next ball that comes in, it's gone. It's out of his head and he's coming for it. You can see that from the pressure put on him by the Arsenal at the corners. He learned what he could and couldn't do, what they were going to do. Right, I can't come and catch it. The arm's coming out. Bang, it's away. Bang, it's away. Yeah, it's horrendous. Balauch, he's at Transenborg. Yeah. Galatasaray played them the other day, and if you look up the goals, they didn't really need to shoot. That's all I'm going to say. Everything was more or less passed into the net, and you know those comedy sketches where the ball goes in and the goalkeeper dives like 30 seconds later. It's like that. So, right, let's get rid of this. We don't really need the team lineup because basically what we're saying is Cunha in, everything else stays the same. Most of us would select Dalot to get out of the club rather than just get out of the team. But tomorrow's game is, let's get these. I feel like I've got to roll the sleeves up to say this. Tomorrow's game is a lot more than just a football match. So I've done the team news. We'll leave that where it is. If anyone else, come back in afterwards, rewind it, whatever you need to do. Go over the team news and you leave something in the comments. But I want to move on. Evening, Bob. Evening. I want to talk about what's going to happen before the game. Before the game tomorrow, 1958. If you haven't seen it, if you've got X, Twitter, whatever you want to refer it to, you need to get on there and find out what's going on tomorrow before the game. If you're in the Manchester area or within, I kid you not, if you're within an hour's drive, so it could be Blackpool, well, where can I get to from there? Derby, the surrounding areas are huge. You can get there on the M6 and get yourselves in. The march before is super important to be at tomorrow. Okay. Do we believe it will get rid of the Glazers? Will it get rid of Ineos? No, but we need to keep this pressure on. We need to keep it in the media. There has been a big push for what can only be described as a vote of no confidence on Manchester United and the people running the club, not the football side of things. So I'll rephrase that: running the business of Manchester United and how they're spending so much money on debt repayments and that, and it's coming out of Manchester. It's money coming out of Manchester, not being reinvested. That's how they're going to go after them. They're going to almost get a vote of no confidence, which can affect the stock share price, which therefore that can have a knock-on effect at the New York Stock Exchange and can make them have to have a bit more of a, I don't know what the correct phrasing would be. Investigation. We'll go with investigation about the running of things, okay? So, yeah, we've got to stay on it. Evening Apex. So, what is important is we understand why. On the community page and on my TikTok, you will find a link to the 2-page document put out by the 1958, okay? And it will basically puts it in to more detail from what I'm saying. I'm not going to quote it word for word because, let's be honest, most people don't want to hear it. I'm just going to see if I can get it up and read it to you guys without the sound of. Yep, that's what I don't want happening. Right, where is it? It's on my page. If you haven't come across my TikTok yet, it is up here. So that's the only thing. No, follow my finger. Follow my finger. No, up here, QR code. Pause the video, come back to it at another point. It's also in the description, obviously, on the channel. Click up there. The content I put out there is different. It's more about my takes on big media moments. So like the overlap, the Nicky Butt, Paul Scholes podcast, and what Carrick says in his interviews, things like that, as well as other bits and pieces from maybe potentially the Tactical Devil show on a Monday night when I'm on there, or Wayne Rooney's show. But here it is. Let's get rid of the music. 1958. So basically, they're going after years of mismanagement, blah, blah, blah. The owners have taken billions out of the club through debt, loading, dividends, and share sales. The club has now paid the price. Fans have paid the price. Enough is enough. Okay, so you can get where they're going to go with it straight away. And they're just literally doing it in 4 mini paragraphs that just need to be read through. And how on the 1st they're going to have the march to welcome Fulham to Old Trafford. But if you're not sure where it's going to be starting and where it's going to be finishing, 1958 TikTok, get on there and follow. Okay, I don't want to say too much on it because there's other people who have obviously got to stay focused. But it is so important for all United fans to stay involved in this. If you can't be there, there'll be streams going up. There'll be, people from Angry Ginge, everyone like that. I believe Adam from FUTV will be there. I'm sure Goldbridge will send some people down there. There'll be content. That content needs to continue to be shared worldwide. Whether you like the channel, don't like the channel, like the individual, don't like the individual. Get that out there. Show them what's going on. Okay. But I don't want to talk any more about the March and the Glazers. Let's get back onto the actual Fulham game and what this could mean for us. Let me just have a quick look at what's going on here. Apex is a Liverpool fan. I'm listening to inside. But you're probably right. I'm just catching up on what's going on there. But it's fine. It's fine. As the channel grows, people are going to have their say about random stuff. I can still focus on what needs to be said. So what is going to go on is for tomorrow. I don't think there's a fan out there that is expecting this high impact, high energy, pressing machine, defensive machine actually turning up. So how do we feel about that? Are we literally thinking Moments FC is going to be back? We beat the big teams in the big moments. Then we go to anyone else in the league and the energy goes. Or are we expecting Michael Carrick to have what is it now? 10. We called it 3 weeks. He's had 3 weeks with the team. And what's he going to have changed, really? Mentality-wise, that they can just keep going. But it's going to be very, what's the word? Interesting. I'll go with interesting. Fulham's midfield, Sander Berge, superb holding midfielder. Whether Iwobi plays, who is just full of energy, or they have someone else come in there to make that even tighter in midfield, they're going to sit back. They're going to sit in a low block. They're going to want to counter us. We're not going to be able to do anything that we've seen so far under Carrick. So he's going to need to show us something different. So all these people going, give Carrick the job, Carrick's at the wheel, all that rubbish that you're seeing on certain other channels, what are we going to come up with? So I want to see more of this, not ticky-tacky football, but, the more memes I see of Bruno Cunha, you know, all of that. We're obviously capable of playing that football. So they need to go out and show it. So yeah, it's going to be different. Now, from a United point of view, I've always said the best form of defence is a stronger attack. You know, the more you, every time you get the ball, you push them back, you take them on, you beat your men in the wide areas, you get the corner, you get the throw in, and you just keep pinning them back. So yes, don't worry, I is on it. That should have done it. Yeah. So I almost feel like 4-4-2 or at least two attacking players is what's going to help us against the Fulham centre backs. Sorry guys, I just had to sort something out in the chat. I'm thinking I've actually managed to do it. From here, never had to do it before, Bilal, so learning on the job right now. Normally we don't really get idiots in here, but you know, hey, it's more involvement, helps the video. People see it, they're just going to laugh at them. So I'm not too fussed. But thank you for sticking with me. Going on the all-out attack is dangerous, but we are at Old Trafford. So Bilal, if I need a mod, you're always in here. Once I work out how to do it, I will have a quick word with someone like Jarvis and probably add you in. You and Danny, I've got to be honest, you're the ones in most. So yes. Why the two up top would work is if we can leave two attacking players just purely on their centre backs, and it'll drop the team to a 9v9. Okay. And then we'll really see what they've got because they only play in the one up front. So they will need to get support forward. We should outnumber them with, say, Martinez stepping forward into midfield. That's what I hope, or maybe even Dallo, who naturally inverts into the central midfield role. But I've noticed under Carrick he hasn't done it, and I believe the inverting midfielder or fullback into midfield is what stops Casemiro from being Casemiro. I think I have to do it through YouTube, and I can't do it through my studio, and it's a lot harder, and I don't really want to slow the video down. So as I'm going, I will click around and try and sort it out, Bilal. But I've timed them out, so from that aspect, they won't still be able to post. First bit of grief on a video is that one of those things where they say, you know, you made it. Yeah, so Cunha, every time I say the word Cunha and I go to talk about Mbumo or Fernandez, I just feel like going straight into that quote. It's very off-putting. Right, where is Bilal? There you are. So I'm doing that with one hand while sorting the rest out. Let me know if that makes a difference, Bilal. It's good having multiple screens. So yeah, so with Cunha on the pitch and Mbumo, Fernandez, we could easily rotate with Ahmad being disciplined enough into a 4-3-3 in certain attacks, or even a 4-2-4, which will be really, really interesting. So yeah, I don't know what to do regarding the attacking sensation. but we have to pin them back. I think that's the only way we score is to pin them back so they don't get a chance to, so they can have the ball and they can try their patterns, but we need to break that play up. Kobe Mainu, what he's been doing man marking is probably everything we need to happen. So yeah, why we would potentially suffer is I don't believe if we give Ahmad and Cunha that free sort of attacking, get forward, get on the attack. I'm worried that they lack the discipline to get back into the defensive formation quick enough. I'm not saying they won't do it, but it's seeing the trigger early enough to go, I need to drop, and I need to drop 15, 20 yards instead of just 5 or 10 from how compact we've been. So, yeah, that's going to be really interesting to see what goes on and how that happens. Daily clips, 100%. Glazers out. Tomorrow is going to be a massive day. Sunday. It's always think we're just naturally going to play on a Saturday. Massive. We need to be there at the protest and get it shared. So, yes, 100%. But going forward, what are we thinking about predictions? Evening, John. Evening. Thank you for joining. Guys, if those of you who've just joined, if you can hit the likes, get the likes up, it's really going to help me out. Notifications, you can ring the bell, get all the notifications on. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. The algorithm's telling me 75% of my viewers over one of my biggest videos aren't subscribed. So I'm happy everyone was watching, but it doesn't help me move up and get that better content out to you. Okay, you're not going to see when I do the smaller videos, which is why I'm holding them back. So Daily, I've just said exactly the same thing. Like when it's Saturday tomorrow, you just think it's Saturday, it's football. We've got a game, but yeah, we've got to wait one more. Thank you for the sub. Thank you. But yes, scorelines. What are we thinking? What are we cautious? 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, those kind of games, or are you on I in my heart I'm thinking 3-0. You're probably going to think the guy's lost it, but seriously, I'm thinking 3-0. I'm thinking Mbumo scores again, and Cunha gets 2 from the left. I know, absolutely mad. Maybe actually, Irish, while you're there. Danny, if you can at other times do me a job as well, I would be very, very grateful. Just hope these players turn. Danny, that's exactly what we've just been saying. That's our fear, right? Daily, you let me know what you think. Are you scared that the players won't turn up? Or are we thinking it's two in a row, keep going? Because it is really a flip of a coin right now. We've got no faith because we've been failed so many times. Bilal will fill you in, Danny. But yeah, I thought I'd have to get a lot more subscribers, followers, and everything like that before I needed moderators. Clearly not. So yeah, exactly. So we've been predictable for the last 2 games, and that predictability is unpredictable. Because if we had done that against 2 lesser teams, we would all be staring the media in the face, and they'd be going, "Yeah, but can they do it against Arsenal? Can they do it against City, Liverpool? All the big boys." Well, actually, it doesn't matter if we've been with Amarin, Ten Hag, Michael Carrick, Ollie. When we turn up against the big teams, so we are predictable in that respect. John says, bit inconsistent, although I'm happy with how we are doing. With John, this is the last bit. I was just saying, like, this is what I believe most United fans have got written on their heart right now. Inconsistent, but while being consistent against the big teams. The Fulham game, well, the next 3-4 games will make or break our season almost, because when we come out and we rattle the cage of the big boys, and literally right, I'm going to say it, but this is not me thinking we're going to do this. We have opened the title race back up. We beat City. Arsenal went 3 points further ahead. We then claw those 3 points back. But off of both teams, we've moved 6 points closer to them, if that makes sense. Because we were unexpected to get those 6 points. So United are slowly creeping in that back door, narrowing the gap on Villa. And obviously Villa have narrowed the gap on everyone else. So title race, if you want to be a dreamer, be a dreamer. We've come from 12 points behind before and won the league. Top 4 race, all day long. And that's why the Fulham game matters right now. This is why the title of this video is The Real Test. Yeah. This is where, can you stand up and be counted when you might only get one chance because they're going to sit in and you have to take it. Okay, so it is true. Like the academy. Right, let's just have a quick catch up. Boys, I'm loving these comments coming in. This is great stuff. I'm scared since we're so unpredictable. We're inconsistent. We've won 2 in a row. Yeah. Can I just point out, because I haven't heard many channels say it at all, sense the sarcasm, how fast did Michael Carrick win 2 in a row compared to Amarin? I'm just going to say it. Michael Carrick, 5 out of 5 against top sides. One of them you could say was a lesser team in the Spanish, but it was a European competition. So, yeah, it's a little bit unbelievable. Right, where are we? Only teammate. Been shaky before that. Yeah, exactly. We have been shaky. What's the youth prospects been like recently? It's a bit of a rebuild in the youth at the moment. Oh no, I did not mean to hide that. In the academy, like the 21s. Well, if you watch the FA Youth Cup match, obviously a lot of our 21 squad dropped down to play in that because they're of the age 17, or were at least 17 at the start of the season and were able to play for the 18 still. We have just loaned Toby Collier out. Youth prospects are amazing. I think I can't ever say I disagree with you, John, because they're youth prospects. But I work with youth footballers, and I can tell you now, for the smoke blown up JJ Gabriel. I keep saying Abraham. I don't know why. JJ Gabriel, Kai Rooney. Right now, just let them cook. Just let them just keep coming and keep coming. JJ needs to learn to pass. Rooney has so much pressure on his shoulders. We've got to keep his head above water, really, because I'm sure inside his heart's going 10 to the dozen every time he gets the ball. Coming on to the cries of his dad's name, it must have been an amazing feeling, as well as shitting it. Let's be honest. If you were coming on, you've got the Old Trafford just Rooney, and the only time you've heard that was cries for your dad. It's a real test of character. Kone is obviously going on loan. Collier, I know Collier. He's literally was raised. What's Amarin from me? 10, 15 mile away from me. Not even that. To about 5-10 actually. Yes, I know. I do read. I also think it's in the bloody Bible or something, but I don't know what it is. just every time JJ. And I'd be okay, right? If I went JJ Okocha, everyone would laugh at me because, I should be a manager. No, I'm a coach. I do coach under 18s, but I prefer to give them both sides of the coin. I think as a manager, you have to hold back. So it's never. Is it filmmaker? I definitely know the name. I like Freights. Yeah, so Freights is. I thought might have gone out on loan actually. When the story came out earlier about Collier, and the headline was midfielder's gone out on loan, and I actually half thought that it might have been Freights going out maybe to League Two, which I think he's ready for. He might not do great, so they might want to keep him back. And like you say, another 12 months would probably be about right to get him out there in the world. But same with the Fletchers. Fletchers have some first team football for United. Then maybe the Fletchers should have gone out on loan and Freights comes up to the 18s if needed. So that rotation just keeps happening. But has anyone else ever felt like that we're only allowed like 3 or 4 graduates on a season, like from our 18s? Whether that is because of the club don't want to progress too fast because it's sometimes my phrase is Billy Big Bollocks by getting on the bench or being involved with that first team and then having to go back to the 21. Some of them just think they've made it, or whether it be bonuses, I don't know, but we've never really pushed so many youth players since '92, and that was more just perfect timing in a perfect storm. Gore played well on loan, but he'll probably get sold. Yeah, I really like Dan Gore. Very, very good player. Um, very. I don't want to. Do you know what? Very Michael Carrick, Dan Gore. I think very steady, very calm player, and gets the job done. Yeah, but it's important. We just let the youth do their thing, but it's also important. Bilal, Danny, you've heard me say this before, but the 18s, the under 18s, everyone needs to realise they're mainly 16 and 17-year-olds, some even 15, in every team. Because we're Manchester United, the media will focus on superstar at Manchester United doing well. The football is slower, the players are younger, and they're just fitting in. With our club and my under 18s right now, I'm in two minds. Lewis, I don't know if you'll watch the video, but massive congratulations. He's just signed for an adult first team. But last year he was in year 11 at school. Yeah. So he's 16, 17 now. I couldn't tell you about looking at his thing. But he's got another year with me in under 18s football, but he's going to go play men's football as a goalkeeper. And anyone who knows what that's like, I'm so proud of him. At the same time, I'm so worried for him because of injuries. And I know when you get into the county league kind of games, they hurt you. They'll come through you. So, but he's playing for a local side. But I also played for, so I've got a lot of what should we call it, investment in his career. But it's the same for these under 18s. I would prefer them to be out on loan at a lesser club sometimes than playing constantly for Manchester United, and definitely in the 21s. It's really hard to find that balance, but I think we should probably leave the youth talk really there, because youth is something we can go on for forever. But if you look at the history of United, we don't really get that many graduates staying at the club and having a career. And I think that's just the way football is. I don't think Daly. I'm going to come back to your comment in a sec. I've just seen that about the keepers. Yeah, and Bilal agrees. De Gea. So interesting. I don't know who knows this. De Gea's goalkeeping coach is come back with Carrick. Carrick's brought him back. So now we have the second goalkeeping coach that De Gea had is now Lamens' goalkeeping coach. So very interesting. We no longer have a OAP training our goalkeepers, which will be great. Bilal, I'm going to come back to your question. I've actually just started. So Lamens offers so much that is like watching a Timu, and this is meant as no insult. I know I just used Timu and then gone no insult. Lamens is like a Timu Courtois. I see so much of Courtois in him. But the Courtois that was at Atletico before he went to Chelsea. Obviously, we took De Gea. Courtois came in at Atletico, and then he went to Chelsea, sort of following in their footsteps. And it was between the two to go to Madrid. That's how the story goes. De Gea came in very shaky, needed laser eye surgery when he first came into the club. Very shaky, made some great saves, and then done some very questionable things as well. Lamens, 23 years of age. We've seen him make some great saves, some maybe dubious kind of saves. I love that double save where he claws the ball down and then knocks it out with the other hand. But that was more luck than judgment. He didn't pin it. But to compare him to De Gea, same trajectory. I hate that word. They're going in the same direction. Okay. You'll notice certain words, I love to say them, but I cannot actually get them out of my mouth. But yeah, the way De Gea started and the way Lamens started, I would actually say Lamens is probably a little bit ahead of him. And that might just have been the laser eye surgery. Like I said, De Gea wasn't very good with long shots. And the rumour was that he was struggling to pick them up. So that's the one I'm going to come back to. Yes, he is. I'm trying to think what his name is. I had it written down for a different show, and I haven't got those notes with me. So yeah, if you look it up, it is the like I say, it was the second goalkeeping coach we had, and he left to take a better job, believe it or not, or something like that. And then we changed goalkeeping coaches, or whether it was Ten Hag that got rid of him, I can't remember. But yes, goalkeeping coach is back, very highly rated, very, very highly rated. Timu Werner, yeah, well, we all know who he is. He plays in a squad with a lot of Timu players. But if sort of maybe forget where we went with the Lamens, his claiming in the air, superb. I still think he needs to work on a lot of micro movements. So he's very stuck in one place to react. So he's very stiff. And I think if he can start working on the little mini steps, which we call micro steps, to get his momentum into a dive, I've seen it coming. There was 2 games literally back to back. The first game he sort of dived and with no momentum and couldn't get across. The next game he tips it around the post, claws it out, tips it around the post. I think it was the 2 over Christmas. So it's obviously, as long as he's learning every little thing. He learned it at the Arsenal game, right, they're going to pin me in. How am I going to come for the ball and catch it? I'm not. I'm going to punch it. And you don't need to be one of these all the way through. Sometimes all it is straight arm, make contact. And he's got enough purchase on the ball just to clear it out the box and push the defenders out. So as long as those defenders get out when the keeper punches, everything's great. So yeah, I think going back to your question, I think he is a very hot prospect, but it's down to what our defence does daily. If we can keep a solid defence, then he's going to learn more. If the defence starts getting injuries and starts changing it up, makes his job very hard to do because he needs to be relying on them not making mistakes. So, yes. What other things were we going to go through? Any questions from the chat for me? Well, Bilal, where's your one you had for me? what age should a footballer start playing first team football? Well, the saying has always been if you're good enough, you're old enough. But how many 15, 16-year-olds have we seen make it in top flight leagues? So right now you've got Max Dowman at Arsenal. Obviously, we all know about Wayne Rooney. You could go back through the Barrys, the Smiths, the people like that, going all the way back. Doesn't really happen anymore because I believe it's so much more of a physical game. That's the problem. It's the sprint speeds. It's not about being. If you look at Wayne Rooney, as in his own words, he was built like a boxer more than a footballer at that age, and he's never really changed. He is a heavy set skeleton frame, or a bit like Casemiro. Everyone goes Casemiro's fat. Everyone's called Rooney fat. He just eats what he wants. He can play football. So that's when you're good enough, right? When you can just do what you want and just turn up on the day. George Best is probably the prime example of that. But yes, you've actually answered your own question by the time it's too late. But you're ready when you're not scared. When you're not scared to go out there and make mistakes. When you're not scared to go out there and be criticised for making the wrong pass or, something stupid like, if you look at Shea Lacey, when Shea Lacey came on, I said it's too early for Shea Lacey. I think physically he wasn't ready. But when that boy came, he proved me wrong. Cut inside, and he's tried bending one in the top corner. 2 games on in a row. That is like his trademark. If you watch the under-18s, he loves to just cut inside and try and bend one. But he's doing that at Old Trafford. He's living the dream, and that's all you've got to do. Live the dream as any professional footballer. If you're being paid to play a sport you love, unless you're Ben White, who hates football, but he sees it as a great job to have, you should go out there and just destroy people. And do you know what? You'll probably be criticised for it. Ronaldo was. We've probably criticised Ahmad a lot right now. I'm not saying Ahmad's the next Ronaldo, but you've got to learn from that criticism. Why are they saying that? Okay, that's the kind of thing. What again, like I said earlier in the video, up here on my TikTok, they're the kind of things I like to just reiterate. Where you have to listen to some of the older players saying this, and I break down their words, what they actually mean. Because a lot of us speak without filter. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's definitely something that's gone out of the world, and it's okay for I can criticize you, but it doesn't mean I'm insulting you. And we need to get a lot of that back into football, and I think that players will then start doing a lot better. So yes, the banner going across the bottom at the moment, guys, about the community. On my YouTube page, you will see there is a community tab where you can have your say on things you want me to go into. We've done a great thing tonight on the youth, just talking about that. And if people want youth videos, I need interaction from you as well as me doing it. So that's something where youth is opinion based. Okay, what you might see in a young player, I might see something different, or vice versa. But also on that community posts, you will see any special shows that I'm doing. The review show after this, I'm going to have a special guest with me after the Fulham game. Someone that was actually my original host is coming on, Nathan. But that could go wrong at the last minute. His partner is due to drop anytime now, so hold that space. But we have arranged to do the Fulham breakdown afterwards. So yeah, get over there, be involved on the community page. I'm not asking for everyone commenting and things like that, but if you can share the videos out, if you can help me, and I'll just keep bringing you the content that is me being honest, and then I can get other people on the show with me. I might even reach out to a slightly bigger YouTuber and see if he'll come on. And if it wasn't for the Adam from FUTV, I probably wouldn't have ever opened my own channel. I would have still just been speaking on his big up channel on there. So Trevor Wade is in the house. Evening, sir. The crack is pretty much the main theme. Do United turn up tomorrow as this new attacking team under Carrick, or do we get the imposters back who, when they've got to play against a lesser team? That's what's going on tonight, mate. It's been a really interesting show. We've got Bilal and Danny now as moderators, as I was infiltrated. I was almost said invested. That would have been wrong. Infiltrated by a bit of not grief, but it was definitely going off topic. So yeah, my opinion, if you're still playing youth football at 23, then it's too late. Yes, Bilal, that is spot on. I've always said if you're 18, you need to be in the 21s. But if you're 21 in the 21s, you need to be looking at League Two football. I'm sorry, it's very harsh, but just drop down, take a pay cut, and build your career up. Look at the players who have come up through non-league football and lower level. You know, Vardy, obviously the main one that springs to mind. Jared Bowen, Smalling. They're just to name a few. Okay. So yes, I totally agree. If you're still there in the youth football and you're hitting the maximum, then it's probably a little bit too late for you to expect to start for that first team, unless you've had injuries and certain other setbacks where that would be fair. I don't believe they were live, so yeah, we can't be doing no raiding. But why not? Why not get everyone in from both shows? You know, share the love, guys. Share the love. But yes, what is next on the agenda? Trevor, quickly, if you want to give us a shout out, what you're expecting the score to be, and who's going to turn up. No, Trevor, it does not mean that. The other shows are, I want to do things like player breakdowns, go into the details of what people seem to overlook. They're too media driven. So if, say, I went into a Kobe Mainu, most people just look at the bias from the media. If it's the British media and he's in the England squad, he's great. But all of a sudden, you know, why put out the picture of his brother, Free Mainu? Well, it's to sell papers. But what they don't talk about is how this guy started as a striker, dropped to number 10, and people are trying to spin the narrative that he can play as a 6. It doesn't really make sense to do that. So no, those are the kind of shows I want to do as well. Sort of in the midweek. You know, don't forget, come the end of the season, we've got a World Cup coming up. Well, if Trump doesn't blow it for everyone with what he's doing, and we're not talking about any politics on this show, but I'm just saying the World Cup, there won't be as much United talk because obviously all transfers will just die a death during the World Cup. So there won't be much to speak about. So I'll have other shows I need to do. And at the end of the day, I need to get the practice in as well doing those shows. there will be a touch of balls out on the review. But whether Balls Out podcast ever comes back, I don't know. But hold that thought. It might actually happen. Whether I'll still be part of it with this channel and what I do for Tactical Devils, I'll be spreading myself very thin, shall we say. Trevor, you need to be on the verge of... You need to be invited to train with the first team, I believe is what you're getting at, yeah? Obviously not necessarily starting, but at the age of 16, you should be maybe being asked to come up, see what you've got with you know, is he shy around the older players and things like that? Maybe that's what you're getting at there, Trev. That's exactly how I think. 5-1. Well, I went for 3-0. So I'll take a 5-1. I've gone for 2 Cunha and 1 Mbumo. Although Ahmad must be due a goal, right? So yeah, it's just totally thrown me where we were going to be. I'm just trying to think what we've covered off. We've covered off the protest. We've covered off the well, a bit about the youth that wasn't planned. We're doing the scores. What else? What else, guys? We Daly's back. No, not reading that out, Bilal. I am not having that because when the kids watch this back, meaning my kids, all I'm going to get is one of them. So I'm not reading that. I'm just going to read the first bit. It will either be 2-1 or it will be something 7. Trevor, have you had one too many Guinnesses? Mbumo 2, Ahmad, Casemiro, and Casemiro with 1 each. Yeah, Daly, you got it. You got it. So yes, this is so what have we got coming after this, guys? We've got obviously the Fulham game, and then if I'm right, have we not got a little breakaway in the sun coming up, haven't we? So obviously we've got the game, then the transfer window shuts, and we go away for some warm weather training, or have we got the West Ham game first, haven't we? Is it West Ham? No, Spurs. So 1st of Feb, 7th of Feb, 10th of Feb. So after the West Ham game, we go away, isn't it? So yeah, we go Spurs, West Ham. So we need obviously 9 points. You meant? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but Trevor, if you can explain to me, I am dyslexic. I have no problem admitting that. But if you can explain to me how you wrote Casemiro when you meant Bruno, I'm all ears. I'm you know, that is the kind of thing I do. Whether it was a copy and paste jobby, you want to see some of my spelling mistakes I put out on a live video sometimes? Horrendous. We're signing Cass's brother. Yeah, Casemiro. I hope we sign Casemiro's most likely a brother from another mother in Edison, and he doesn't go to Newcastle. I would be over the bloody moon. But yeah, it's so the 9 points. This game, if it doesn't go the way we want it to go, and I'm just talking about a draw here, guys. I generally don't think we will lose. So, if we don't get the win, does that have a knock-on effect? Going to playing Spurs and then the rejuvenated West Ham at the moment. This is all the stuff that I feel is the pressure the players put on themselves, and we will have to go through with them. And normally you can tell when they're coming out of the tunnel, because I weirdly feel more confident playing away from home than I do at home with these players. It's almost like playing in front of 67,000 people. Well, actually, it's more than that, isn't it? I was trying to knock out how many away fans they bring, but you know, full capacity 75. Then it's like they brick it and they can't turn up. So who was to play in the spell check? It's the 5th. Fair enough. Mark, do you think we'll get top 4 or 5 with the momentum of a new manager bounce and with other teams falling on? Do you remember the COVID season? That's what I compare this season to. This is as weird a season as the COVID season, where we were going, 20 games unbeaten away from home. Finished, was it 2nd with Ollie? We're pretty much there or thereabouts for a title run for most of the season. and it was because everyone else was crap, and they all blamed COVID as the reasons. I feel that you're right. It's the same. Teams are falling away. Liverpool should never be below us currently with the squad they've got. You don't go from winning the league to being bottle jobs like Arsenal. Arsenal obviously have lost to us. If they don't get a strong result against Leeds, which is going to be really hard to do, God knows what's happening. Man City turn up one week, don't turn up the next. Even looking now at dropping Haaland, I think we have to take it. We've missed so many opportunities. There is actually the theory of thought that we should be in second, a minimum of second, with the results. The loss to 10 men at Everton, the West Ham game, everything we've bottled. This is another one. But we actually took that step forward under Carrick into fourth place at last and held our nerve. So I want to stay positive and think that, yes, we've broken that mental duck because it is all up here. We do have to believe in ourselves and believe that we will make it across the finishing line. So yeah, well. Sorry, you just throw me there. One of the Tactical Devil shows did get 666 once. I think once it hits that number, some people look at it and just think we won't do any more. What's this side? Do you think Carrick has a trampoline in his back garden? Do you think we have a new manager bounce? I'll fire that back the other way. Do you think this is a new manager bounce? Or do you think this is a freedom of their mind? The right back just has to play right back. He doesn't have to think about attacking and defending. Same with the left back. The centre backs play better in a two. Don't need to. It feels more comfortable just to stay on their side of the. Draw a line down the centre of the pitch. That's my side. That's your side. Casemiro's definitely back doing what he does best in this sort of four-man midfield. So, because I don't believe Bruno is really playing as a 10. I feel like he plays more as a second striker, more the Teddy Sheringham, Dwight York dropped off, number 10. Ahmad, just all he's got to do is get back inside the fullback. Otherwise, play as a wide winger. Because if you notice, him and Mbeumo have not run into each other's spaces now. So that seems to be working as well. Obviously, we've got to send our condolences really to Dorgu, because I feel for the guy. To go on that run of games, he's had, 3 goals in 4 games, 3 goals in 5 games, after having such low confidence, and then for the hammy, whether it's gone, whether it's tight, cramp, whatever, because it's come out in the conference today in the pressure, but maybe he isn't going to be 10 weeks. Maybe he'll be back sooner, but they're still assessing. So I don't always believe that. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's a bounce or just players playing in a comfortable position and not having to think, because we know they're not shit players. We know they're good players. And it was finding the formation. Now, I've said many a time, I feel the best formation for the players at the club before he even brought in the 3 new attacking players, even with Rasmus and Xerxes, 4-4-2 was the right formation. Rasmus stays up top. Xerxes drops in that hole, or Bruno can play as that with Rasmus. I always thought 4-4-2 just suits them, and it's not it's everyone goes, oh yeah, no one plays 4-4-2 anymore. They all defend in a 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1. That's still 4-4-2, just narrow. So yeah, it's just been one of those. So you've done well tonight, Mark. Well, thank you, Bilal. I don't know if that's you trying to say you're now off, but yeah, I'm certainly getting better at it. Tweaking little things as I go, be it a thumbnail, be it having information this is not working. Having information on the screen like this with the TikTok, and now you will see the United lens will stay as permanent branding in the top left of my, well, as I'm looking at it, top left of the screen above the QR codes. I will get more and more information into the banners that I know that you guys want. United Lens is out there on X as well. So if you want to go, give us a follow there. Obviously, you wouldn't be here if you weren't on the YouTube, and TikTok is just different content, totally different content. And so, but yeah, no, I much appreciate that. Yeah, I am on my own. Maybe I just like the sound of my own voice. I certainly get more sense out of myself sometimes, and I don't have to wait to have my say like I do on certain other shows. Sesko, Trevor. This is a really good question. So you joined a little bit later. I went over. So with the starting lineup, I was. I'll put it back up on screen. Unless I closed it all down, which I think I did. Give me 2 seconds. Let's get it back up. That's what she said before Trevor even says it. Yeah, the starting lineup for United, I believe, is this. Hello, this is the starting lineup. So Trevor, yeah, let's get rid of your thing. I see Cunha coming in for Dorgu, and therefore Mbeumo stays up front. And for that reason, I see Sesko gets more minutes. Because obviously now there's no Cunha's. You're not going to do the replacement of Cunha on for Mbeumo, or vice versa, because they're both already on the pitch. I think this is a game where actually an Mbeumo and Sesko front two would work really, really well. And I do mean a front two, not him up top, flicking it on and Mbeumo running off him, in the sort of Amarin style kind of front line. I think Mbeumo works very well with a tall striker, someone who can just link up the play. Sesko's got nice feet and can, find a pass, and he is more of a creative front man than he is a goal scorer, in my opinion, still. Trevor, I'll come back to your other question in a minute. So yeah, Sesko will get more minutes for this exact reason, but I'm sort of expecting him not to start. Oh no, let's not do that. I'm expecting him not to start Sesko, but to come on and try and hold the ball up, move into the corners more. Stephanie. Evening, Stephanie. Nice of you to join us. I didn't know if you knew about this channel or had been in here or not. So if you can, whack a like, hit the subscribe, and everything else. I know you know what to do. So yes, that's how I feel about Sesko, Trevor. So I hope that answers your question. Let me just have a look. Bilal, what is the X handle? Believe it or not, it is just United Lens. It is in the bio for the channel, so you should be able to find it on there if you just click on the United, like I said, the community page. Go to the description. At the bottom of the description, it's got the X link there. You should be able to see it. If not, I'll try and pop it in at some point. So yes, titanium Charlie Whisker terms. Stephanie Queen is in the chat. Trev, Bilal. Yeah, Danny's here somewhere, or was at some point. So as well, we are literally, whoever it was that said it, having a bit of a tactical devil takeover, bit of a raid. I might have to pop on the phone and phone Jarvis and Shu to get in the chat as well. What? Did you hear about Xi Jinping being a United? I did, and I I would love to go to further into Asia. I've only been, oh God, I'm not going to say where I've been because I know what I'm going to get off of Trevor, but I've been to a little island, but I had to fly from Kuala Lumpur to, and everyone was a United fan over there. All they say is, "Do you know who Bobby Charlton is? Do you know who Sir Alex Ferguson is?" They're all United fans. They can barely speak a word of English, and the next thing you hear is Manchester United. So it did not surprise me. This is a bit like the Robinho comment we were talking about the other night, where Robinho thought he was going to meet Sir Alex Ferguson and he signed for Man United, but he actually signed for City. Of course, he's a Man United fan. He probably knows no other sporting club in England. But it was worrying to see. We don't really want to be linked to the Chinese government. So, yeah, I think the less said about that, the better. Ah, okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Um, but Trevor, if Stu comes in, he maybe he'll come in with a mankini for you or something. So so you can have a nice quiet chat in the off camera in there about mankinis and what's the difference between the speedos and the mankinis. For me, I'm always going to be a Bermuda shorts kind of guy. I could just imagine. Could you? Could you really? I love Korean food. Um, yeah, maybe I'll sit in a tall tower in South Korea overlooking North Korea. Uh, that's about the closest I'll get to that. But yeah, no, there's a lot been going on with United. There's a lot going on for myself, and I'm finding it quite hard to balance it all at the moment with work and my coaching, and obviously doing my own channel. So your support, guys, is like from the bottom of my heart, thoroughly appreciated. Um, I knew this was hard work, but there's certain things when you're on your own. Hence the reason Bilal and Danny are now mods for me, is because you get attacked, not in a bad way. There wasn't an attack as in that sense, but people jump in and you need a little bit of extra help. And I'm starting to understand that, and I'm not scared to ask for it or accept it. So, Kim. That took me a second to get that. I wonder if Kim supports us. Kim. Kid. Kim. Yeah, I like that. Either way, it's not good. Career mode. Oh, you are doing a fantastic job. You are like a fine wine, my friend. Yeah, maybe. I know not everyone's going to agree with my take, but that's what I want my channel to be about. I don't want everyone to agree with me. I'm not a preacher. I am not the be all and end all of Manchester United news, gossip thing. But what I can't stand is I'm old enough to remember the news of the world, the Sun, the Mirror, the Daily Star, papers that just talk shit. And now it's in front of everyone, and my kids grow up seeing it. Everyone, you know, sees clickbait here, clickbait there. With these big channels, I can't stand a clickbait title. I try my hardest not to go anywhere near them. And if I ever do one, it's probably by mistake or my dyslexia where I didn't realise what I've implied. So yeah, but that's so earlier. Someone asked why the United lens as the title. I'm going to put a bit of a pre-recorded video out, probably while we're in doing our warm weather training. There's when there won't be much information, sort of explaining more about myself, my background, and to do with the channel and why. But United lens, you see things through the lens of the camera. I want this to be my view of the United world through my eyes, how I see it. clearly not red tinted glasses, although sometimes maybe they are. But I like to have a third party aspect on how I look at things. You know, you see the pros, the cons, and then potentially what the outsiders see. Okay, that's why I went with United lens. I first off trying to base the whole channel around having sort of this camera theme, and I was like, do you know what? It's so much more than that, and maybe I'm just finding my niche in the market. Maybe it's just the start of a reimagination 12 months down the line if I'm still here in 12 months and things are still going forward. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. And why? Let's have a look. So those of you not aware, my computer is touchscreen. So if you ever see my hands in weird positions, it's because I'm using my fingers on the screen. No jokes. No jokes there. Thank you. So I'm just going to get back to where we were, click through some of these. We're pretty much getting to the end of the show now, guys. So if there's anything you sort of want to quickly talk about regarding the Fulham game, I haven't got as many videos on the channel, so just constantly talk and answer questions. Like I say, I want to do that over time, and try and keep as much of it still based around them as matches as possible. We all have the same one. Yeah, exactly. You are our daily stuff. Daily Star. That could be taken the wrong way. News of the world. What page, Mark? Just asking for a phrase. No, I'm definitely the back page, mate. Always the back page. You probably want the centre page specials, Trev. Big question mark. Is your lens concave or convex? Convex. I'm actually generally going to pick one. It'd be convex. Yeah, trying to enlarge things and look at the bigger picture from close up instead of just on the outside. See you guys, got to go. Bilal, thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm going to be ending the show in a minute anyway. So Stephanie. Right, so I think pretty much that rounds it up. You know, you can refer to me in whatever newspaper you want, as long as it's not page 3 of the Sun or page 3 of the News of the World, because that's not happening. But maybe that would be me on the Balls Out podcast, so I'll give you that one, Trev, free of charge. Who's the biggest danger for Fulham in your opinion? So yeah, Trevor, I'm more than this is sort of what I want. Any questions like this? In my opinion, you've got a choice of two. The first one is obviously if Smith Rowe is up and running, which he hasn't really had such a great season, fitness wise. I would say him. Jimenez, I said at the beginning of the show, I feel is a 1 in 4 kind of striker. Samantha Fox. You just literally don't do that, Trevor. You know, you ask me a question and then you just throw me off track. Jimenez is a 1 in 4 striker, so I'm not too worried about him. But Smith Rowe makes him tick more than anything. We know our friends over at Tactical Devils sing the praises of Sander Berge and Joachim Andersen at the back. Iwobi is a pain in the arse, always has been for Man United. But don't forget, they've signed Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob is very, very highly rated at Man City. I'm not saying he's the next Cole Palmer. But he wouldn't have been getting the minutes by Pep originally before obviously going out and signing bigger players, and that's really what's frozen him out. So they're the two that stand out for me very closely. Iwobi there as a third. So Stephanie, so my normal notifications streaming times will be potentially 9 o'clock on a Friday night for a preview. After the match, 9 o'clock, be it Saturday or Sunday, for the review show. And I'm looking at getting a midweek show done. I'm also looking at a few sort of pre-recorded videos, okay, as well. Just a very busy lifestyle, but it is 9 o'clock, pretty much 2 out of the 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on our match. I like to go after I've got some details from the press conference and not just making it all up. So if we know someone's miraculously fit again, i.e. a certain Delit, or someone out of the blue is injured, I'm not chucking out their information that's just going to be outdated the next day when the press conference comes out. So that's the idea behind it. What else have we got here? So that they are my main times. So I can't help it. Just give myself a stand talking to. Yeah, from what I've read and seen, he is, Trevor. Is there any reason you think he wouldn't be eligible? It's not a cup match, so the transfer's gone through, so he should be good. Harry Wilson, yeah, so that's who I had, Harry Wilson starting in front of Bob, and maybe Bob comes on 60, 70 minutes because it's an away game. Yeah, exactly. So it's not the 9 o'clock news. That's one title I could have gone with, but no, it is definitely preview reviews, and I am not the 9 o'clock news. I'm more of a for those that can remember it, and like I'm hoping I'm going to have viewers that can't as well, but I'm more Eurotrash than not the 9 o'clock news. Okay. So you're not sure on the registration. I believe he's eligible, but if he's not, he's not. You know, that's a win for us, isn't it? It's a win-win. Either way, I don't think he starts, whether he's eligible or not. Obviously not. But yeah, guys, I am going to have to leave it there. I've been going almost an hour and 40 for what was meant to be like a 30-40 minute stream. I can't thank you guys enough for popping on. My chat has been busier than ever. The analytics are going to be through the roof. I'm actually going to have to look at them. But yeah, no, big thank you to Bilal and Danny, for who I've now had to promote as mods, for clearing up the chat for me while I was at the beginning of the show. Stephanie, Trevor, thank you for popping in. Everyone else who has also been in, I'm just trying to think back. We had Daily Clips. Thank you for your takes as well. It's more of John Fulgate on Eurotrash. Yeah, well, if I let the beard go, I could be like the bearded woman they used to have on Eurotrash, right? Is Max headroom related to Harry Maguire? I have no idea. Right, so I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much. I will be back doing a review show on Sunday, 9 o'clock. I hope to have Nathan, my former host, I was under on Balls Out podcast, coming in and doing a review show. As I stated earlier in the video, his wife could drop at any time. So if he's not there, he will just get me. I'm sure that will go smoothly and I won't put my foot in my mouth too many times. But thank you so much all for being here, and you know, get in the comments. Anything else you think maybe afterwards, leave a comment. It all helps me. The after show comments really do help. They help with the engagement and people picking up the videos. Like I say, smash the like, hit the bell notifications. If it's not working, reset the bell notification to none. Go back in and then set to all. Okay. Thank you guys for your kind words, and I will catch you on Sunday after we've smashed Fulham 3-1. You've heard it here. 2 for Cunha, 1 for Mbumo. And after that, I will catch you all later, guys, on United Lens. Thank you.